Hello, thank you for joining me today. My name is Debbie Danford, and you can find me at craftiercreations.blogspot.com, or on Facebook you can find me at Craftier Creations with Debbie. Today I'm coming to you with the new Tropical Hideaway stamp set. And I kind of feel like a lot of these stamp sets, and they're in the back of the new annual catalog, page 116 and 117, but this one is right here. And you see I had written bonus class there. There's a whole bunch of them. Like I did, this one was another one that we had last year that came out new. Love it. I did a bonus class with that one too, but we have a whole bunch. We have quite a few new ones that came out in this catalog. The Bouquet of Thanks, Tropical Hideaway, the Pretty Medallion, I've already used. The Butterfly Brilliance, we use the Timeless Tiles. So many options back here with these, of what you can tie all of these with. So today, this is my bonus class for my monthly club, and I will put a link down there for the monthly club and how you can, excuse me, how you can sign up for it. And you really want to sign up this month, because starting in August, my price is going to increase to $38. Right now, it's still at $36, and if you sign up before that, you will get locked in at the $36. That's what I'm doing for all my monthly clubbers, because a lot of them have been with me since I started it, and I'm right at just a little over 2 years since I started it. I started it, pandemic, had to pivot and make some switches, and I went online with my monthly club, and it's worked out great ever since. So you want to join this month. Now, for about the last year, I want to say, I've been offering a bonus class along with monthly club. And the bonus class is usually just a specific stamp set. And the cost does not include shipping if you're part of monthly club, because I just include it with the box that already goes out. Now, I will offer this as a standalone if you're not part of monthly club, and it will be an extra $10 because I have to accommodate for the shipping. So if you're part of monthly club, it's going to be $22. You get the supplies to make 4 cards, and you get a video and the PDF sent to you. And if you're not part of monthly club and are still interested in just the class, it'll be $32, and that still includes the supplies to make 4 cards. It includes the stamp set, and you'll get a PDF and the video emailed to you. So you have options, but monthly club is the best way to go. And this month, monthly club, they haven't picked. They're still voting right now, because we have a private Facebook page and they go out there and vote. I list about 5 or 6 different bundles and they vote. Whichever one has the highest votes is the one we use for that month. And then you get the supplies to make 5 cards, 2 of each. And then whatever else I include in it. Usually it's $15 to $20 in product that come in your monthly club packet every month. So today, now I have been playing a lot with this, and I'm not going to show you the cards that we're doing in monthly club, because that would ruin the surprise for my monthly clubbers. But I wanted to show you a couple other cards that I made, and I've been playing with this stamp set, like I said, a lot. And what I did when I started playing with it, and I've done this with a couple of the other big bold stamps like this, I like to go through and find some DSPs that maybe the back side, which we would call like the B side, like this would be the A side of this paper, this would be the B side, and see if I can stamp on it. So this particular paper is the Pretty Prince paper, and it comes in Calypso Coral. Let's see. They actually list a whole bunch of colors because they kind of blend a bunch together. But Bermuda Bay, Blackberry Bliss, Calypso Coral, Coastal Cabana, Evening Evergreen, Gorgeous Grape, Petal Pink, Rich Raspberry, Shaded Spruce, Soft Seafoam, Soft Succulent, and Sweet Sorbet. So like this would be our A side. That would be the B side, and kind of the same. This has the same. This particular pattern is the same as the Sun Prince, if you've seen that particular one. But each one of these sheets in here are different. Just to give you an idea of what this paper is like. But it is very similar to the Sun Prince, just in different colors. So what I did, I took the piece of Now my color is escaping me. Calypso Coral. And I stamped on it. And this is what I came up with. Simple, easy card. I just stamped on it with Memento Black die cut. This is from the Beautiful Dies. Just a Note is from this stamp set right here, the Go-To Greetings. I'm going to show you 2 word stamp sets that you need to add to your collection of stamps because these are awesome. And both of them are actually $1 million sellers. This one is from Sandy Hartka, I think is how you pronounce her last name. But this one is awesome. You have the standard phrases that we tend to use a lot. Happy birthday, thinking of you, just a note, and thank you. In 1, 2, 3 different sizes and 3 different fonts. This particular size also they added the hello. Just because would be another great phrase to add in here. And I wish they would have done the hello in all of the sizes, in my opinion, because it's one I use a lot. Just because is just another one I like to use. And then my other favorite is the Just a Note. I use that one quite often. But this is an awesome bundle. So for the first one, we're going to be stamping in, like I said, Memento Black right on top of the DSP. It's 4 by 5.25, which right now is the same size as our basic black layer. And the reason it is because I'm going to cut it down and I'm going to take that little strip and just add it to the inside of our card for a little bit of decoration there. So let's go ahead and we're going to stamp the first one. Now, I use the Stamparatus for this, and you can see I've already kind of stamped here many, many, many times, and hopefully that's not too distracting. And what I do first is add just a tiny little piece of adhesive behind here just to hold it in place in case you're going to want to pick it back up. And I know if you want to line it up with your 1-inch line, you certainly can, but I know how I have my stamp already on here, and I know that lines up perfectly. And I still have my magnets down here to hold my paper and everything in place. This is a foam or red rubber, as we want to say, stamp, so we don't need the foam mat underneath. And then we line it up and we get ready to go. Now, if you don't have the Stamparatus, that's definitely something else you certainly want to add to your collection of items. I always put the stamp set, let's see, yeah, you can see that. I could slide some of this over just a little bit. I always just use the stamp set right there to hold this up. But if you don't have the Stamparatus, oh, this month would be a great time, this month or next month, great time to buy it, because right now Celebration, the day I'm filming this, Celebration just started. This will post actually probably next week. I will post on Wednesday, I think, Tuesday or Wednesday, I think this is going to post. But Celebration has started, so for every $50, you get a free Celebration items, and there's a few items in the catalog that are $100 items. So like Hippo stamp, $50, you'd get the Hippo stamp set free. $50, you'd get the Hippo die. So if you spent $100, you could get the Hippo set together. And then we have the Rings of Love DSP free with $50, and this coordinates with the Ringed with Nature bundle that's in the new mini catalog. Free silver and gold designer series paper free with $50. This awesome stamp set here, amazing phrasing, free with a $100 purchase. The Tree Lot dies, which coordinates with the Trees for Sale stamp set in the mini catalog, free with a $100 purchase. And then Wonderful World, which is a stamp set and designer series paper, free with a $100 purchase. And then if you host a party or your order is over $300, you'll automatically get the Perfect Pomegranate free. So lots of options during July and August. And of course, if you would love to join my team, which I'd love to have you on my team, the starter kit is our normal $99. You get $125 in product. You get free shipping. So it's $99 plus tax, free shipping. And then this time you are going to get this Making Plans collection. It's like a I think it was $45 or $40. I can't remember, 40 or 45. But you get all of this awesomeness for free. The stamp set, the planner, and a whole bunch of stuff that comes with it. And I will be posting some pictures of everything that comes with it. But it's an awesome, awesome deal. If you're not a planner person, that's okay. I bet you know somebody that is, that you could give it to, because that would be an awesome gift for somebody. I know I can't wait to play with the planner. Okay, so I inked this up. I got sidetracked there a little, but let me just hop back over it just real quick. And I'm going to push it down. Now, I know I've seen these gadgets where you can push really hard. Well, you can push, add pressure to your Stamparatus plate without having to do it really hard with your hands. I do not have one of those gadgets. I really need to check into that, and I need to put it out in our sandbox on Stampin' Up. We need to come up with one of those. So I just push my hand around and add some pressure. The nice thing about using the Stamparatus is when you lift this up, you can tell where you need to add. And every time I've stamped with this, for some reason, this little corner right here has been my, either I'm not putting enough pressure there, or it's a little bit of a low spot on the red rubber. Could be a combination of anything. But the nice thing is I can ink it back up and put it back down again. And now I'm going to make sure this time I really put some pressure over here. And then I'm going to lift it up again, and voila, perfect. I have one little spot right there that I could go back over. And I'll just ink the whole thing up and just let it do its thing one more time. I'll just make sure I put some pressure down there. And it doesn't take long to do that many. 3 times I went over it. Now, if you were trying to do this with the clear block, it wouldn't have worked. We know it. Now I'm going to just close that up because we're going to make 2 cards today. And then I'm just going to bring this over. And our card base is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. And I'm just going to burnish this really quick. Now what I'm going to, this time I used, instead of using the beautiful shapes dies here, I used the stitch rectangles, and we're going to stamp Happy Birthday this time on here, and then I'm going to cut this apart to use it as my layer. But what I'm going to do first here, let's just go ahead and add our basic black layer, which is 4 by 5 1/4. And I cut my rectangle, as you can see, right out of the center of that card. Don't want to, if you know you're going to be punching or die cutting, I usually always cut out of the center here. And that's what I've tried to teach a lot of my customers, my team. It's a great way to save on paper. So I'm going to bring in our paper trimmer, because I know I originally cut this at 4 by 5 1/4. 4 because it's a piece of DSP, so it's easy to cut at 4-inch increments, so you're not wasting any. Now, if you knew you were going to cut something at 2 or 3, of course you would just cut it at that specifically. But I knew I wanted to cut it at 4 to stamp it, and then I'm going to cut off, or cut it down to 3 3/4 by 5. And you could go smaller if you wanted. I always just got to measure twice, cut once. 3 3/4, and I'm cutting this direction first because I want this to fit here. If I would have cut the other direction first, it would have been too short. 3 3/4 by 5. And the reason I know that is because I did it on one of the cards. I got off track of what I was doing and cut this direction off there first, and then my piece was shorter. I ended up just trimming the inside piece down a little bit. So we're going to take this little scrap so we don't lose it, and I'm just going to use some mono glue on this one just because it's so tiny. And you could stick it anywhere on the inside of your card. You could stick it towards the inside, the outside, it doesn't matter. And you can stick it towards all the way towards the edge. You can leave a gap. I was leaving just a little bit of a gap. I kind of liked that little bit of white hanging out there, but you certainly do not have to. I was trying to slide it down just a little, and I slid it all the way. That's the nice thing about using glue, is you do have a little bit of wiggle room. But once it's down, it's down. And if I have any little bit of hangover here, or overhang, I'm just going to trim that off. As you can see, I had stamped something on the other side of this and didn't use it. Didn't know that when I grabbed this piece, or I would have grabbed a different one, because I would have used that for something. Too late now. Down it goes and nobody's going to know, right? Okay, so there's our inside. There's that. All we're going to do is put this on top of here. Very easy peasy. And I'm going to use my adhesive. Now, we could add on this particular one, you could add baker's twine behind there if you wanted to, like one little piece. Here, we're going to go ahead and add some baker's twine this time. Mix it up a little. And I'm just going to add one little piece there for this particular one. Find my scissors. I mean, you could add 2 or 3, or you can do it however you want. But we'll just add a little bit of baker's twine on this one. Slide this over here. And perfect. Now I'm going to take my Memento black ink. I'm going to take my Happy Birthday, and this is from the Go-To Greeting set. It's this particular size right there. I haven't used a lot of the bigger ones yet. I've used mostly the smallest ones. But I decided this time to use this size. Happy birthday. I don't like how that's stamped, but I'm going to go with it. It's how I stamped it. It's not anything wrong with it. It's just I didn't pay attention to what I was doing. But it will be fine. Now I'm going to cut this black rectangle just in half, and you can use scissors, you can use your cutting, your paper trimmer, it doesn't matter, it doesn't have to be perfect. I was looking for my longer ones, but they seem to have walked away from my desk. Now I'm just adding a little bit of adhesive to the back of the white, and then what I'm going to do is layer this just like this. And I know it doesn't layer it all the way around. You could cut 2 of them if you wanted, and then cut it 1 1/2 vertical and 1 1/2 horizontal, and do the same thing. But I like just the little tiny effect that we're getting, just like that. And then I'm going to take some of our black dimensionals. Usually when I'm layering with black underneath, I tend to use the black dimensionals because you don't see them. They don't show as well, so it kind of hides them underneath there. And I don't really need one in the middle here because we have baker's twine sitting there, so we're just going to put them on the top and bottom. Just poking them off. I use my take your pick tool, pull off the sticky tops. And I think I'll come over here to the left, and actually I think what I might do is just take this one, and we're just going to add a little half knot here. Now I saw a video right before I was coming on here, posted using this stamp set. It was Stampin' Up! Had posted it out on, if you follow their Facebook page. And they had done a card using our new masking, sticky masking tape, masking paper. I was trying to think of what it was called. And with this stamp set, and I was already getting ready to do my video, so I will be doing a video on that too, just to show you. So I'm going to put that guy right there just to kind of balance it off there, even though that's a little crooked, but we're going to go with it. So there you go. Here's our first card. Easy peasy card, but a great way to use some of our DSPs if you're in a hurry. You realize how many cards you could make, cut your paper and make these, and you're not like you could get the same effect sponging, watercoloring, which I've done some of those too, because I love to sponge and I love to watercolor, but sometimes we need a quick, simple card, and this is perfect for that. So there's our first card. Now the second card is going to be this one, the other half of this card here, but I'm going to show you how I did it and what DSP paper I used here. See what the back of this looks like? So this is from this paper. So this is the Hues of Happiness paper, which has a ton of colors in it. But again, the B, like this would be the A side, this would be the B side of this particular one. Now, each strip here I don't think would quite be 4 inches, but you could skinny it down if you wanted to. Like if you wanted this to be like all the pinks or all the yellows. Of course, this and they're a little bit skinnier, but some of them, this particular sheet, which is the one I did originally, this was wider, and I just cut it at the 4 inches, and then I cut it down as I wanted to use it. But again, here's some blue you could use. Lots of options with the B side of this paper. Now, would every one of them work? Not necessarily, but I think you have a lot of different options. And then I had a strip, and I haven't turned it into a card yet, but just to show you, like here was the A side of this paper, here's the B side. Just that little strip, this could easily be turned into a card too. So don't rule out some of our wonderful DSP papers. So what I did is, and this is the other half of the piece. So as you see, it was starting to get into the, let's see if I'm lining this up. No, it goes like this. So this is the other half. And I just cut this down 2 inches because this is a 4 by 5 1/4. I cut it directly in half. This half was a little bit more of the Daffodil Delight. And over here, we're getting more into the Mango Melody. I stamped it in the Evening Evergreen. Colored my piece of ribbon with the Daffodil Delight. This is the next word bundle that I'm going to show you that is you have to add to your collection. And then the piece of Evening Evergreen here I embossed with the new Fern 3D embossing folder. So I'm going to show you what we did, and then I'm going to just put it together with these two right here. So I'm going to move this aside, and we're going to bring our Stamparatus back in. And we're going to open this up, and I'm going to just do a really quick wipe down of it with my sponge here. I would have been okay because we're going to stamp with Evening Evergreen, which is a dark color, but just to be sure, I want to clean it. And you see, these actually are twice the size. I cut them down and put them in here. And as you can see, mine is well loved. They work awesome. If you don't have one of these Stampin' Up! Sponges, you need to add one. They're perfect. So here's the piece I cut down, 4 by 5 1/4. And again, I'm going to add just a little tiny bit of adhesive to the back. And I'm going to put it right here. I'm going to slide this out of the way real quick. And then I'm going to ink this. Now you could use basic black. You could use any color you wanted. Originally I think I was going to use Evening Evergreen ribbon or something. And then it didn't, to me it was too dark. And so I ended up coloring the white ribbon. But I just wanted to pull in another color and try it, and I thought the Evening Evergreen would look good on all of those yellows and orange hue colors, so I just went with it. Okay, so I kind of know over here is where I need to add a little more pressure, and you'll know right away the first time you stamp with it. But see, I added more pressure right away. Perfect. I'm going to do one more just to make sure it's nice and dark and bold. Now, I did notice one thing. I think I moved it a little too far to the right this time, and that's okay. We're going to... Oh, no, I just hadn't stamped it. I thought I had a little bit of a gap here, but I did not. Once I stamped it the second time, it's perfect. And I am happy with that. And as you see, kind of like with this, the first one, oh, this is darker. I might have stamped this one with Old Olive. Isn't that funny how you kind of forget what... If you would have seen all the ink colors I had out, and you ought to see all the Stampin' Blends I have stacked, because I did a lot of cards coloring too. I'll pull in one and show you. Now, you could kind of do the same effect as we did here and just do some layering if you wanted to, or turn it into some little easy fun fold. But I thought it was nice to take it and cut it and do this and use our little fern embossing folder. So what we're going to do here is we have a 5.5 by 8.5 piece of Mango Melody, because I felt like the other half of this was more Mango Melody than it was I think it's Daffodil Delight. Some of our yellows are close in color, but yet different when you like lay them next to each other, but sometimes it's just hard to tell right off the get-go. Now, I didn't put another layer underneath here. So you're like, okay, how am I going to add that ribbon? And give me just 1 minute. I need to pull out my piece of ribbon here. I still have a scrap piece laying here that I had colored with. And on this particular one, I think I'm going to color with the dark Mango Melody. When I'm coloring ribbon, usually I go to the darker markers. Sometimes I'll start with the lighter and then go darker. Mango, here's the light. And you're like, okay, how are we going to add the ribbon? This is how I did it. Now, normally if you had another piece underneath, which you could put a piece underneath, but you don't need to, I just flipped it over, lined them both up, ran a piece of tape right down the center. Now, you could use Scotch tape. I couldn't find my Scotch tape when I made the first card, and I thought, well, let me just try this. It works, and then you're already adding a piece of adhesive there anyway, so, you know, you're not going to need... Now, when you've embossed with it like I have, that's why my adhesive is not wanting to stick right there, so I may have to... I'll try it one more time. I may have to put glue over here on this side. Oh, there we go. I was probably like, for whatever reason, it doesn't like that particular spot right there. But I don't want to keep ripping my paper right there. I must be putting too much pressure down. I'm just going to glue that down a little bit right there. Okay. Now what we're going to do, I'm just going to add a few little pieces of glue right here. We are going to take the Mango Melody. I'm going to start with the light. And I'm going to do about this long here. And it's so quick with our Stampin' Blends when you use the brush end. Like, this is the quickest way to change the color of ribbon or add color to the ribbon. Now, as you see, this is a little light. Here, I'm going to flip this over very gently, and I'm going to show you. Little light. You could go with it if you wanted to, but I'm not. I'm going to bring in the dark. And what I have noticed is usually when you're coloring ribbon, sorry if my arm's in the way there, the darker color gets more true to color effect, that the lighter is what it is. It's lighter than the original color. Now, if you have used your markers a lot, they're not going to be as moist and wet as a brand new marker is. And my Mango Melody I've used a lot. I can tell by looking at the tip too. So I'm going to need to, you got to see my Petal Pink. Oh, this is the new one. Yeah. I don't even see what I did with it. I have a petal, maybe I threw it away. Because I have a Petal Pink that I literally used it all up. Our monthly club for June, we did the Cottage Rose bundle, and I used Petal Pink Stampin' Blends. I'm just attaching it right there, coming around the front, and I'm being very gingerly with it because it's only held together by that tape that I put on the back. Put a little bit of it down, and I'm just going to trim that off. And if you wanted to add a little bit of more adhesive right there. Oh, I think it's empty. Oh no, there it is. It'd be my luck that I always seem to, it is almost empty. I always seem to empty these when I'm doing a video. Okay. Oh, this time our green's going to be on the left, which is fine. Normally, I would have done it the other way. I wasn't paying attention to my pattern, but my leaves would be upside down if I flipped it this way. Okay. We're going to go with it. And then I think what I colored the rest of that will be this piece right here. Our little half knot. That's usually what I do, is little half knots. Not a bow person. Very, very rarely do I do bows. Okay, there's that. So right now, you're thinking, oh, it looks a little plain, Debbie. Yes, it does. However, now what I forgot to show you is you would take the piece of Evening Evergreen and emboss it with the fern embossing folder and then cut it in half too. So you're starting with 4 by 5 1/4 for both of these, and then you're cutting them down to 2 inches by 5 1/4, 2 inches by 5 1/4, and you end up with 2 cards out of it. So I think that's awesome. Now what we're going to do, this is our new Charming Sentiments bundle, and this comes with die cuts for every one of these words. There's a die cut, and this is also a $1 million set, $1 million stamp set from Lisa Curcio. And the wonderful thing that she did, and you can find her at I think it's lisastampstudio.com. She created a template to fit each one of these, so you're not struggling to figure out which word goes with which one. And I have used, I already know the one is that I want. It's the Just For You, because as you can see by the color of how much this one is stained already, I have used this one a lot. This is my favorite. On a scrap piece of Mango Melody, we're going to stamp in the Evening Evergreen. Just like that. Perfect. Close this up, get it out of our way. And the nice thing about this bundle of dies, it also comes with a few extra. 2 butterflies, you've got some candles, a little decorative die cut that die cut some circles, another little decorative, stars, hearts, an exclamation, and then all of these words. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 different word phrases. And these are awesome because you've got the thank you, the happy birthday, the just for you, good luck, hey there, woohoo. Some of these are ones that probably we wouldn't think of putting on cards. Babies are a blessing. Awesome, awesome set. You have to add it. Now, here's my little die cut. I'm going to bring in my mini. Ooh, if you don't have a mini, this would get you a free celebration item right from the get-go, if I remember right. It's been a while since I've looked at how much these are, but pretty sure you would get. Okay, so you put down plate 1, plate 2, and on the mini, you don't line them up like this. You stagger them just a little bit and it pulls through better. So you put down plate 1, plate 2. We're going to lay it down right here. And then we're going to put our paper down. Yep. Just double checking to make sure I'm on the camera. And then we line it up. And this is a very close die. So when you're looking at it the first time, you're probably thinking, oh my gosh, it's going to die cut the words. And I keep forgetting, somehow my washi tape off here wandered off. So I'm going to hope for the best and that it doesn't move, because normally I would tape that down just a little bit. I'm going to give it a good push. I'm hoping it didn't move. Because I pushed it, so I was hoping I was just pushing the bottom plate and not the whole thing and like moved it. But we're going to see. If not, we'll cut it again. So here we are. We're just going to pop this off. And look at that. Isn't that just gorgeous? Don't you just love how that cuts? Oh my gosh. This, I'm telling you, this is the set of dies that I've been telling everybody, like my monthly club people, everybody, that they need to have this die set. We will be using it a lot. And then all I did is took one little dimensional here, a mini, put it behind here. And I'll just put it right over here on this side this time. Now we had these little clear new gem, or glossy dots, bling. I call everything bling. And that color went perfect there. However, I don't think I have a color that will work. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull in the iridescent gems, and I'm going to color with the dark Mango Melody. That's the nice thing about the alcohol markers, is we can change any clear or white bling to any color we want. Now, some don't color as well as others. Like I can tell this one's not holding the color as well. And sometimes you lose, like if they're really shiny, glittery type bling, sometimes you might lose that little bit. Like I wish it was a little bit darker. Whoops. But it'll still work. I'm actually going to go over it just a little bit more. There we go. And there is card number 2. Wasn't that just quick and easy? Oh, now this particular one, this is our inside. I don't have a leftover strip. I would have had to have cut that DSP a little bit wider or made these narrower by the 1/4 of an inch for each card if you wanted it on the inside. So keep that in mind when you're cutting, if you do like the little inside piece. I kind of like these two up against each other like that. Because remember, this was one piece of DSP, just like this is here. It's stuck down to there. Got more Mango Melody over here and more just of the Daffodil Delight. And I'll probably cut this one down too. I don't know. I haven't decided. And I do think I used Old Olive here. This is much lighter, but I used Evening Evergreen here and it worked. So there you go. Sometimes, you know, you forget what color you stamped in. I had Evening Evergreen on my mind when I was embossing with it. So, but you wouldn't have known. I think I stamped, this is in Evening Evergreen though. So I know that one is. We just did it. So there you go. So I hope you enjoyed these two projects today. Quick and easy. I talk a lot, so it sounds like they take longer than they really do. Real quick, I will show you another card that I did with this bundle. This particular one, I stamped it on basic white. I was trying to make sure it wasn't shimmer white, and it could be shimmer. Pretty sure it's basic though. I stamped it on basic white and embossed it with, stamped it with Versamark, embossed it with gold embossing powder, and then I colored with all of these similar green Stampin' Blends. I had them all out, light and dark, light and dark, light and dark. And I just kind of started coloring randomly. And then I die cut out of the center of the gold foil piece. I die cut with the rectangle shapes, and then I die cut out of the center of this, and then just layered them up. Stamped the thank you, and that again is from the Go-To Greetings. I think that one is from the Go-To Greetings. It could be from a different stamp set. I don't have it in front of me. And then I added a couple of those in color. This is the new Parakeet Party in color bling, because this color right here is the Parakeet Party. But it gives you an idea. And then behind here, and I don't know if you can see that. Let me bring it in. I popped this up with dimensionals. And then behind here, I cut a piece of that Parakeet Party ribbon, and then I just frayed it apart and put some pieces behind there. So there's another sample for you to see what I did there. And then here's our other ones coming back in. Here's this one, and then here's these two. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and don't forget to like this video and follow me on YouTube, Facebook. I'll have all the links down below, and I appreciate you stopping by. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye.